Howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, and I am changing a catalytic converter on this 2000s model. I said 2000s model because I'm not being very specific with the year model, but yeah, bottom line, 2000s model Dodge Grand Caravan. And I have ran into a snag. I originally wasn't going to video this job just because I'm kind of behind on some work due to some other issues, like with that stinking Ford Explorer that's taking forever to figure out. By the way, that's done. I'm just getting ready to do the final transmission service and get it started and get it out of here. But yeah, I was gonna knock out this catalytic converter, and turns out it's not just going to be a simple one-day job, because lo and behold, I ran into one stinking exhaust bolt that will not come out and is giving me an extremely hard time. So while we're at it, just might as well go ahead and kind of show you the process here. Notice since I'm working in the dirt, I do have a multi-point jack system here for safety that I'm using. But pretty much swapping the catalytic converter on this isn't that hard at all. Even if you buy an aftermarket setup, all you really have to do is unbolt the catalytic converter from the back of the engine up in there, and then go ahead and make sure you have the right part and piece, and then bolt your new one back in. And a lot of them come where you can just cut it and marry the existing pipe back together, and then just put a bracket on there basically. And so the one that comes from the factory makes it even easier. It actually gives you this whole pipe piece and everything back up in there. So the whole system, aftermarket or factory, is bolt-on. There is no welding or anything like that that is necessary to do this job. Now let me see if I can get up in there and show you where your four bolts are going to be. Okay, so you're going to be working from underneath the van up inside of here. Now where we're at is back behind the back part of the engine, and I have found that using an extension along with the swivel socket will allow you to get up in there a lot easier and grab a hold of your bolt so you can extract it. And you're going to do that times 4, as you can see that I have done. Now the hardest one to get to is going to be on the top on this side, and in order to get to that one, that's when you're going to want to go ahead and partially drop your exhaust system, okay, and disconnect it. That way you can move your catalytic converter around, and you can kind of position it. See how I can move it in the position that you need to position it into to get to this top passenger side bolt. Because when you start this job, if you just look up in there and eye it, you're going to think, oh my God, how in the heck am I even going to get up in there? So, but my problem is that top driver's side bolt, it's broken, okay, it's not working properly. So that one right up there, okay, it broke, and so it's just spinning in its hole. And as you can see, I got a ratchet inside up there now holding the back part of that nut. So yesterday we tried everything we could to get up in there and work with it, and we just couldn't do it. So what we decided to do was go ahead and remove the windshield washer assembly and the plastic cowlings and all that, so we could have a straight shot down to the back part of the engine so we could even work in there. And I'll show you that here in just a second. And so here you go. As you can see, we removed the window washer wiper assembly, and it's not that hard to get out. You just got to be careful, you know, all that other good stuff. And so that gave us the room. Now we spent most of the day trying to avoid having to do that, but in the end we decided that's just what we're gonna have to do. And so that gave us the room we needed to get down here and work on the backside and see if we can get a hold of this nut. So the issue is the nut and the bolt are rusted and growed together. And what happened was this piece right here, this flap that is supposed to hold this nut into place when you turn the bolt to extract it, broke, and the welds on it broke. So I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Okay, and so you can see how this is set up. And so this flap, when you turn this, is supposed to hold this nut in place so you can continue to turn the bolt and extract it. The problem that we have is our nut and bolt are rusted and growed together. So what happened at first is, as we put all the force we had to turn it, all it did was it ended up just destroying this flap. And we noticed that just the flap was turning, so we had one big piece in there just turning. So then we got in there with a pair of vice grips, and we were able to grab a hold of the flap and lock it into place. And then that's when we really realized that the nut and bolt are rust locked together, because what happened, and I don't know if you can see in the light here, you see this nut is welded. You see it's got little spot welds. It's welded to this flap. So what's happened now is those welds have broken, the flap is free, and we've got the nut and bolt just freely spinning. So that's when we finally said, okay, let's go ahead and make the room that we need to get down in there with a ratchet and a socket, grab a hold of it, and then go ahead and start extracting it. The only issue that we're having now with that is it's so rusted together. When we turn it, it literally only turns a quarter of a thread at a time, if that. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's literally like a click. It's like click, 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 and you can hear the rust breaking up in there and all that other stuff. So I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Alright, so I'm going to hand the camera over to someone to hold it. You can kind of see right there. That's where I've got my ratchet on there. I'm going to go underneath there and show you what it's like to try to turn this thing. Alright. Here we go. Okay, so you hear that click? That's basically how it's turning. It's just one hair at a time. There it goes again. There it goes. And that is what a bolt that's been rusted together sounds like. Hold on, kiddo. One of my kiddos is calling us. Oh, there we go. Ah. Alright, and so the best I can do is just take a break, reset it, get everything set back on there. Go ahead and soak it a little bit longer, you know, hit it with the PB blaster again, let it sit for 30 minutes, yeah, just keep working it out, and then hopefully eventually I'll get it completely worked out and it won't break or anything like that. But just wanted to take a moment and share with you guys the struggle sometimes. So if you ever find yourself in this position, don't get frustrated. It happens to even the best of us. Alright folks, well this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. I greatly appreciate you guys coming out and watching my channel, supporting me and the family. If you have any questions yourself, shoot them to me in the comments. I really do enjoy helping y'all out. Once again, Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, signing off.